The sand gets into everything out here. My boots, my gear, my food, and apparently, my marriage. I'm Captain Rowan Pike, and right now, I'm sitting in a tent in the middle of the Sahara Desert, training international rangers how to survive in conditions that would make Satan sweat. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm teaching survival while my own life back home is apparently falling apart. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My phone buzzes with another social media notification from my wife, Tessa. I swipe it open, and there's another photo of her at our home daycare with some muscle-bound guy she keeps calling her volunteer helper. The caption reads, "Finally found someone strong enough to handle these wild kids. Blessed, fall, strong arms. My hero. Strong enough? I've been handling those kids for 10 years. Owen, my 10-year-old, is sensitive and brave like his old man. Zoe, 8 years old, has a sharp tongue and loyalty that runs deeper than the Sahara aquifer I'm currently pretending exists for these trainees." "Captain Pike, you seeing ghosts in that phone?" Deshaun Williams, my logistics buddy, everyone calls Shorty, drops down next to me on a supply crate. He's been my anchor through 3 deployments, and apparently now through whatever domestic nightmare is brewing back in suburban Michigan. "Just checking on the home front, Shorty. Tessa's got herself a new volunteer at the daycare." "Volunteer?" Shorty raises an eyebrow. "Brother, I've seen that look on your face before. That's the same look you had right before you took out that sniper nest in Kandahar." I show him the latest photo. Chase Barlow, according to the tags. 35 gym rat, the kind of guy who probably flexes in mirrors and thinks protein powder is a food group. He's got his hands on my daughter's shoulders in the photo, and something about his smile makes my skin crawl. "When's the last time you actually talked to your wife?" Shorty asks. 3 days ago. She said the Wi-Fi was acting up, couldn't do video calls, too much interference. I scroll through more posts. Chase appears in every single one from the last 2 weeks. Funny how the Wi-Fi works fine for posting pictures of Captain Biceps here. My phone rings. It's Owen calling from Tessa's phone. That's odd. The kids aren't supposed to have phone privileges during daycare hours. "Dad?" Owen's voice is small, scared. "Hey, buddy, what's going on? Why are you calling during daycare?" "Dad, I recorded something. I was scared and I hid in the closet and I recorded it on Mom's phone when she wasn't looking." "What did you record, son?" "The helper man, Chase. He was yelling at me and Zoe because we spilled juice. He called us stupid brats and said we were just like our loser dad who runs away to play soldier." I gripped the phone harder. "What else, Owen?" "Mom was laughing, Dad. She was laughing when he said mean things about you. And then he pushed me really hard and I fell down. There's a big thump on the recording. Zoe started crying and Mom told her to shut up or she'd get the same thing." The world narrows to a pinpoint. There's a reason Rangers don't panic. We prioritize. Right now, my priority is crystal clear. "Owen, listen to me very carefully. I need you to send me that recording right now. Can you do that?" "I already did, Dad. I sent it to your email." "Dad, when are you coming home?" "Soon, buddy. Very soon. I need you and Zoe to stay close to each other, okay? And if Chase ever touches either of you again, you scream as loud as you can and run to Mrs. Henderson next door." After I hang up, I open my laptop with shaking hands. The email is there. The audio file is 3 minutes and 47 seconds of pure rage fuel. Chase's voice, loud and aggressive. "You little brats need to learn some respect. Your daddy's not here to protect you now, is he? Off playing G.I. Joe in the sandbox while real men handle things at home?" Tessa's laughter in the background. My wife, laughing while this piece of garbage terrorizes our children. Then the sound of impact. Owen's cry of pain, Zoe's sobbing, and Tessa's cold voice. "Shut up, Zoe, or you'll get the same. Chase is right. You kids need to learn some discipline." I sit there in the Sahara heat, but I'm cold as Arctic ice. My hands are steady as I book the first flight home. There's a reason they trained us in psychological warfare. There's a reason they taught us patience, planning, and precision. Tessa wants a strong man. She's about to find out what strength really looks like. I pocket the audio file and start packing. The sand can keep the Sahara. I've got bigger deserts to cross back home. 26 hours later, I'm standing in my own driveway, looking at my house like I've never seen it before. There's a red Camaro parked where my truck usually sits. Guess Chase makes himself at home. The front door opens before I can even reach for my keys. Tessa appears, all smiles and flowing hair, wearing a dress I've never seen before. She's lost weight, toned up, and there's something different in her eyes. Something calculating. "Rowan! Honey, what are you doing here? I thought you weren't coming back for another month." She throws herself into my arms, but it feels like hugging a stranger. Her perfume is different too, something expensive and cloying. "Family emergency," I say, not returning the embrace. "Where are the kids?" "They're at my mother's for the weekend. I thought we could have some alone time when you got back next month." She's already leading me toward the bedroom, her hands roaming over my chest. "God, I've missed you so much." "Have you?" I set my bag down and look around the living room. New furniture, expensive stuff. Business must be good at the daycare. Oh, it's been amazing. Chase has been such a help. He's got this way with the kids. They really respect him. Respect, right. Where is Chase now? He's at the gym. He'll be back later to help me prep for Monday. She's pressed against me now, trying to distract me with her body. It might have worked a month ago. Now it just feels like manipulation. "Tessa, we need to talk." "Later, baby. Right now, I just want to show my husband how much I've missed him." I step back. "The kids called me." Her face changes instantly. The seductive mask slips, and for just a second, I see panic. Then it's back to the smile, but now it looks painted on. "Oh, you know how kids are. They probably just missed their daddy." "Owen recorded something, Tessa." Now the mask falls completely. She goes pale, then red, then settles on defiant. "I don't know what you think you heard, but I heard your boyfriend screaming at our children. I heard him call me a loser. I heard you laughing." My voice is calm, controlled, Ranger calm. "I heard him hurt my son." She backs away, and now I see the woman I married disappearing entirely. What's left is someone I don't recognize. "You don't understand the pressure I've been under. You left me here alone with 2 kids and a business to run. Chase has been helping me, supporting me." "Supporting you? Is that what we're calling it?" The front door opens, and Chase walks in like he owns the place. He's everything the photos suggested. 6'2", all muscle and ego, wearing a tank top that shows off his gym work. He sees me, and his face splits into a cocky grin. Well. The soldier boy comes home early. He doesn't seem surprised to see me. "Tessa, babe, why didn't you tell me your husband was back?" "Babe." He called my wife babe in my house. "Chase, maybe you should—" Tessa starts. "Nah, it's cool. We're all adults here." Chase drops onto my couch, spreads his arms across the back like he's holding court. "Rowan, right? Tessa's told me so much about you." "Has she?" I'm still using my calm voice, but something in my tone makes Tessa step between us. "Chase, really, you should go—" "Relax, babe, I'm not going anywhere." He looks at me with obvious contempt. Besides, I think it's time we cleared the air, man to man. I study him. He's strong, sure, but he's got the kind of strength you build in a gym, not the kind you build in combat. He's used to intimidating people who can't fight back. Kids, women, suburban dads who've never seen real violence. "You've been helping with the daycare," I say. "That's right. Someone had to step up while you were off playing war games." "Someone had to step up and push around 10-year-olds?" His smile falters just a little. Kids need discipline. Maybe if you'd stuck around to provide it. Show me your hands. What? Your hands. Show them to me. Chase looks confused but holds up his hands. His knuckles are unmarked, soft. He's never thrown a real punch in his life. Rowan, please, Tessa says. Let's just talk about this calmly. I am calm, and I am. I'm just getting to know the man who's been disciplining my children. Chase stands up, trying to use his height advantage. Look, soldier boy, I don't know what lies your kids have been telling you. Lies? Yeah, lies. Kids make stuff up when they don't get their way. They're not used to having a real man around who doesn't take their crap. The temperature in the room drops about 20 degrees. Tessa feels it and backs toward the kitchen. Chase is too stupid to run. A real man, I repeat. That's right. Someone who doesn't abandon his family to go play in the sand. I nod thoughtfully. Chase, can I ask you something? Sure. Have you ever eliminated anyone? The question hangs in the air like smoke. Chase's bravado evaporates. What kind of question is that? A simple one. Have you ever taken a life? No, Why would you ask that? Just wondering what your definition of a real man is. Because where I come from, real men don't hurt children. Chase tries to recover his swagger. I never hurt anybody. Your kids are fine. My son has a bruise on his shoulder where you pushed him. That's not, he fell. After you pushed him. Look, maybe I was a little rough, but get out. What? Get out of my house, now. Chase looks to Tessa for support, but she's gone ghost white and won't meet his eyes. Tessa, are you going to let him talk to me like that, after everything I've done for you? Everything you've done? I step closer. You mean like sleeping with my wife? Like terrorizing my children? Like living in my house and driving your car on my property? Rowan, stop, Tessa whispers. No, Tessa, I'm just getting started. I look back at Chase. You have 30 seconds to get out of my house before I call the police. The police? For what? Child abuse, adultery, trespassing. I'm sure I can think of more. Chase finally realizes he's in over his head. He looks around like he's trying to figure out how this went so wrong so fast. This isn't over, he says, heading for the door. Yes, it is. After he leaves, Tessa and I stand in the wreckage of our living room. She's crying now, but I don't feel sorry for her. How long? I ask. Rowan, please. How long have you been sleeping with him? 6 weeks. Since I left. It just happened. I was lonely, and he was there, and you let him abuse our children. He wasn't abusing them. He was just trying to help with discipline. He pushed Owen hard enough to bruise him. Kids get bruises! Not from adults who are supposed to protect them. She collapses onto the couch, sobbing. What are you going to do? I look at my wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, and feel nothing but cold determination. I'm going to get my children, then I'm going to make sure you and Chase never hurt them again. Rowan, please, we can work this out. It was a mistake. I love you. No, Tessa, you love what I provide. There's a difference. I head for the door. Where are you going? To get Owen and Zoe. When I come back, I want you gone. This is my house, too. Not for much longer. I drive to Tessa's mother's house with my mind already 3 steps ahead. Tessa wants to play games? She's about to learn that rangers don't just survive in hostile territory. We conquer it. Judith and Larry Henderson, Tessa's parents, have never liked me much. I'm too military, too serious, too working class for their daughter who they think deserves better. But when I show up at their door and play Owen's recording, their tune changes real quick. That son of a jerk, Larry mutters, which is the first time I've heard him swear in 15 years. And Tessa was laughing? I'm getting the children out of that situation immediately, I tell them. I need you to know that I'm filing for emergency custody tomorrow morning. Judith, who usually treats me like I'm tracking mud on her Persian rugs, nods emphatically. Those babies don't deserve this. We had no idea. Owen and Zoe run to me like I'm their salvation, which I guess I am. Owen's shoulder does indeed have a dark bruise in the shape of a large hand. Zoe has been having nightmares. "Daddy, are you staying home now?" Zoe asks, clinging to my leg. "I'm staying, sweetheart. Daddy's not going anywhere." That night, I tuck them into their beds in their own house. Tessa is gone, staying at Marcia's, according to the note she left. Good. That'll make tomorrow easier. I spend the night making phone calls. One advantage of military service: you develop a network of people who know how to get things done. My first call is to Marcus Webb, a JAG officer who owes me a favor from Kandahar. "Rowan? Jesus, it's been 2 years. How's civilian life treating you?" "Could be better, Marcus. I need legal advice. Emergency custody situation." I email him the recording and explain the situation. Marcus listens without interrupting, which is why he's good at his job. "This is solid evidence of child endangerment," he says finally. "Plus, you've got the adultery angle for the divorce. Michigan's a no-fault state, but judges still consider misconduct when it comes to custody and asset division. How fast can we move?" "I'll have papers ready by morning. We file for emergency custody, restraining order against the boyfriend, and divorce papers all at once. Hit them with everything before they can mount a defense." "What about the daycare?" "That's trickier. If she's licensed, we'll need to involve Child Protective Services. That recording could shut her down." Do it. My second call is to Tom Rodriguez, a private investigator who specializes in domestic cases. I met him through a veterans group, and he's thorough as cancer. "I need everything you can find on Chase Barlow, and I need it fast." "How fast?" "Yesterday." "It'll cost extra. Bill me." By morning, I have a complete dossier on Chase. Turns out Mr. Muscles has a history: 2 previous relationships that ended badly, including one restraining order from an ex-girlfriend who accused him of emotional abuse. He's been fired from 3 jobs for anger management issues. His credit is shot, and he's been living off women for the past 2 years. Perfect. At 8 a.m. sharp, I walk into the courthouse with Marcus and file for emergency custody. The judge, a stern woman named Patricia Hawkins, reviews the evidence and grants a temporary restraining order against Chase. He's not allowed within 500 feet of my children or my home. By 10 a.m., a CPS investigator named Sarah Chen is at Tessa's daycare, interviewing parents and examining the facility. Word travels fast in small communities, and by noon, half the parents have pulled their kids out. Marcia calls me around 1 p.m. screaming, "How could you do this to her? She loves those children." "Which children? The ones she let her boyfriend abuse, or the ones she's supposed to be caring for professionally?" "Chase isn't abusive. He's just firm. Firm enough to bruise a 10-year-old. That was an accident." "Was Tessa laughing about it an accident too?" Silence. "Marcia, let me explain something to you. I spent 8 years learning how to neutralize threats to innocent people. Tessa and Chase became threats to my children. I'm handling them the same way I'd handle any other threat." "You can't just destroy her life. Watch me." I hang up and immediately call Tom Rodriguez. "What did you find on Marcia?" "Marcia Henderson, Tessa's friend? Oh, this is interesting." "How interesting?" "She's been covering for Tessa's affair for months. I've got text messages, social media posts, the works. She's been actively helping them deceive you." "Send me everything." Within an hour, I have screenshots of text conversations between Tessa and Marcia that would make a sailor blush. Marcia encouraging the affair, making fun of me, even suggesting ways for Tessa to hide evidence. One text from Marcia particularly stands out. "Girl, you deserve a real man who knows how to handle kids and handle you. Military boys are so uptight. Chase knows how to take charge." Another from Tessa. "He's amazing with discipline. The kids actually listen now. Too bad Rowan's too soft to control them like this." And the smoking gun from 3 days ago. "Just keep R in the dark until after the custody hearing. Once you get the kids in the house, you can dump him and keep Chase. He'll be too proud to fight it." Custody hearing. I call Marcus immediately. Did you know Tessa was planning to file for custody? No. When? According to these texts, she was going to wait until I got back from deployment, then ambush me with papers. She wanted to paint me as an absent father and unfit parent. Well, she's about to learn what a real ambush looks like. That afternoon, Chase shows up at my house despite the restraining order. I'm ready for him. He pounds on my door like he's trying to break it down. Pike, open up. We need to talk. I open the door with my phone already recording. Chase Barlow, you're violating a court order by being here. I don't give a damn about your court order. You ruined everything. I ruined everything? You're the one who decided to play house with another man's wife and terrorize his children. Those kids needed discipline. They're spoiled brats. And you thought pushing them around was the solution? I thought being a man was the solution. Something you obviously don't know how to do. He's working himself up into a rage, which is exactly what I want. The camera is capturing every word. Is that why you're sleeping with my wife? To show me how to be a man? That's right. She needed a real man, not some weekend warrior who abandons his family. A real man who beats up children. I never beat anybody. You put your hands on my son. He deserved it. And there it is. Full confession, on camera, in violation of a restraining order. Chase, you need to leave now, or I'm calling the police. Call them. I'm not afraid of you or your lawyers or anybody else. So I do. I call 911 while he's still ranting on my doorstep. The dispatcher can hear him yelling in the background. This is Captain Rowan Pike at 1247 Maple Street. I have a man violating a restraining order and threatening me on my property. Chase finally realizes how badly he's screwed up. He tries to leave, but it's too late. The police arrive just as he's getting into his Camaro. They arrest him for violating the restraining order, and I helpfully provide them with the video of his confession. The prosecutor will love this. That evening, Tessa calls me, hysterical. They arrested Chase. How could you do this? I didn't do anything. He violated a court order. You set him up. I answered my door and recorded what happened. He did the rest himself. This is insane. You're destroying innocent people. Innocent? Tessa, I have text messages between you and Marcia planning to ambush me with custody papers. I know about your little scheme. Silence. That's right. I know you were planning to paint me as an unfit father while you let your boyfriend abuse my children. I know Marcia's been helping you. I know everything. Rowan, please. We can work this out. No, we can't. You made your choice when you chose him over our family. I made a mistake. You made a series of calculated decisions. There's a difference. What do you want? I want my children safe. I want you out of their lives until you prove you can put them first. And I want Chase gone permanently. He's not a bad person. He's sitting in jail right now for violating a restraining order and threatening me. How is that not bad? She hangs up on me. The next morning brings news that Tessa's daycare license has been suspended pending investigation. 3 more parents have come forward with complaints about Chase's behavior. The local newspaper picks up the story. Local daycare shut down after abuse allegations. Tom Rodriguez calls with an update. Chase made bail, but his lawyer's advising him to take a plea deal. Violating a restraining order is serious business, especially with his history. What kind of deal? Probably anger management classes, probation, and a permanent restraining order. He'll stay away from you and your family. What about Tessa? That's where it gets interesting. Marcia's been talking to people, trying to drum up support for Tessa. But those text messages you have, they're not playing well with the other parents. Turns out nobody likes being deceived about who's watching their kids. Meaning? Meaning Tessa's reputation in this community is shot. Even if she gets her license back, nobody's going to trust her with their children. Perfect. But I'm not done yet. The real revenge is just beginning. 3 weeks later, I'm standing in the community center, addressing a room full of angry parents. The monthly Parent-Teacher Association meeting has turned into an impromptu tribunal, and I'm the star witness. Ladies and gentlemen, I begin, my voice carrying the authority of 8 years in uniform. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the concerns about Sunshine Daycare. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. These are people who trusted Tessa with their most precious possessions. Now they're learning exactly how misplaced that trust was. 3 weeks ago, I returned early from a training mission overseas to find that my wife had allowed her boyfriend to physically and emotionally abuse not only my children, but potentially yours as well. I click a remote, and the community center's projection screen lights up with a timeline I've prepared. Photos, dates, incident reports. This is Chase Barlow, I say, showing his mugshot from the restraining order violation. For the past 2 months, he's been unsupervised around your children while you were at work, trusting that they were safe. Jennifer Walsh, mother of twin 5-year-olds, raises her hand. Mr. Pike, are you saying this man was alone with our children? Not alone. My wife was present. In fact, she was present when he pushed my 10-year-old son hard enough to bruise him. She was present when he called the children names. She was present and she was laughing. The room erupts in angry voices. I let them vent for a moment, then raise my hand for silence. I have audio evidence of this incident which I've provided to Child Protective Services and the police, but what I want to share with you today is something else entirely. Another click, and text messages fill the screen. I've blown them up large enough for everyone to read. These are conversations between my wife and her friend Marcia Henderson, discussing not only the affair, but their attitude toward your children. I read Tessa's words aloud. These daycare kids are so much easier to handle now that Chase is helping. He doesn't take any of their crap like Rowan does. Sometimes you have to be firm with kids to make them respect you. And Marcia's response, exactly. Kids today are too coddled. They need strong male figures who aren't afraid to discipline them. The room has gone silent. I can see parents calculating, remembering times their children came home from daycare quieter than usual, or mentioned the helper man, who was strict. Mike Thompson, father of 7-year-old Emma, stands up. My daughter mentioned someone yelling at the daycare. I thought she meant other kids. Mr. Thompson, I'd encourage you to ask Emma about the helper man. Ask her if he ever raised his voice at her or the other children. Mike's face goes red. If that son of a jerk touched my daughter... Mike, I say calmly, I understand your anger. But the person who allowed this to happen, who facilitated it, who laughed about it, was my wife. The person you trusted with Emma's safety. The meeting dissolves into chaos. Parents are pulling out phones, calling their children, demanding answers. Some are crying, others are talking about lawsuits. Sarah Chen, the CPS investigator, approaches me afterward. That was quite a presentation, Mr. Pike. Just the facts, ma'am. We've interviewed 12 children now. 6 of them report incidents with Mr. Barlow. Raised voices, inappropriate physical contact, name-calling. What about Tessa? That's more complicated. The children don't report direct abuse from her, but they do report that she didn't protect them. In our business, we call that failure to provide care and protection. Will she get her license back? Not in this state, and word travels in the childcare community. She'll have trouble getting licensed anywhere. Perfect. That night, Marcia shows up at my door. She's been drinking, and she's furious. You bastard, you destroyed her. Marcia, you're drunk. Go home. She loved those children. She would never hurt them. She let her boyfriend hurt them while she watched. That's not what happened. I have it on audio, Marcia. Your friend's voice, laughing while my son cried. You don't understand the pressure she was under. The pressure of what? Having an affair? That was a choice. She was lonely. You abandoned her. I was serving my country. She was supposed to be protecting our children. Marcia tries to push past me into the house, but I block her easily. I want to see those kids. They need to know their mother isn't a monster. Those kids are asleep, and you're not coming in. You're drunk, you're trespassing, and you're harassing me. I'm trying to save what's left of my friend's life. Your friend should have thought about that before she chose a man over her children. She made a mistake. She made a choice. Every day for 2 months she chose him over them. Every day she let him intimidate and hurt children. She chose him over them. Every time she laughed at their pain, she chose him over them. Marcia starts crying. What about forgiveness? What about second chances? What about the bruises on my son's shoulder? What about the nightmares my daughter's been having? What about the other children who were hurt while their parents trusted Tessa to keep them safe? You're destroying her! I'm protecting children. If that destroys her, maybe she shouldn't have put herself in a position where those two things were mutually exclusive. I close the door and call the police to report a drunk woman harassing me on my property. Marcia's gone by the time they arrive, but I file a report anyway. Documentation is everything. The next morning, Tom Rodriguez calls with news. Chase took the plea deal. Anger management, 2 years probation, and a permanent restraining order against you and your family. What about Tessa? She's broke. The daycare was her only income, and she's facing at least 3 civil lawsuits from parents. Her lawyer's advising her to settle the divorce quickly and quietly. Settlement? She wants to avoid a trial. Bad publicity. She's willing to give you primary custody in exchange for keeping the house. Counter-offer. I get full custody. She gets supervised visitation only, and we sell the house and split the proceeds. She can use her half to start over somewhere else. That's harsh, Rowan. She endangered children, Tom. My children and other people's children. Harsh is what she's earned. That afternoon, I get a call from Marcus Webb with an update on the legal front. Tessa's agreed to your terms. Full custody to you, supervised visitation for her, house gets sold. She also agrees not to contest the restraining order against Chase. When do we finalize? 2 weeks. Judge Hawkins wants to interview the children first. Make sure they're comfortable with the arrangement. They'll be fine. They've been asking when they don't have to see their mother anymore. That's sad. That's reality. They trusted her to protect them, and she chose her boyfriend instead. 10-year-olds understand betrayal better than you'd think. The community meeting has had its intended effect. By the end of the week, Tessa can't show her face in town without people staring and whispering. The grocery store, the bank, the post office, everywhere she goes, she's confronted with the consequences of her choices. She tries calling me one more time. Rowan, please. I can't live like this. People won't even look at me. Maybe you should have thought about that before you let Chase terrorize children. I never meant for anyone to get hurt. But they did get hurt, and you laughed about it. I wasn't laughing about that, I don't know what I was doing. You were choosing him over our children, over other people's children, over basic human decency. I want to make it right. Then stay away from children until you figure out how to put them first. I'm their mother. You're a woman who gave birth to them. Being a mother means protecting them, not exposing them to danger. She hangs up, but not before I hear her sobbing. I should feel bad about that. A month ago, I would have felt bad about that. But a month ago, I hadn't heard my son crying on an audio recording while his mother laughed. The old Rowan Pike would have tried to save his marriage, would have gone to counseling, would have found a way to forgive and move forward. The new Rowan Pike has different priorities. The children come first. Everything else is negotiable. Halloween in Millbrook is serious business. The whole town turns out for the annual festival in Riverside Park, complete with costume contests, haunted houses, and a live broadcast on the local cable access channel. This year, it's going to be more entertaining than usual. Tessa, desperate to rehabilitate her image, has volunteered to help with the children's costume contest. She's been telling anyone who'll listen that this whole thing has been blown out of proportion, that she's the real victim here. She doesn't know what's coming. I've spent the last 2 weeks preparing for tonight with the same methodical precision I once used to plan military operations. every detail mapped out, every contingency considered, every outcome calculated. Owen and Zoe are dressed as a vampire and a witch, respectively, their excitement infectious as we walk through the festival grounds. They don't know they're about to witness their father's final campaign against the people who hurt them. They just know Daddy's home, they're safe, and there's candy involved. "Dad, look!" Zoe points to the main stage where a DJ is setting up equipment. "They're going to announce the costume winners up there." "That's right, sweetheart. Big crowd tonight." And it is a big crowd. Half the town is here, including most of the parents from Tessa's former daycare. Perfect. I spot Tessa near the costume contest registration table, wearing a witch costume that's probably supposed to be ironic. She's talking animatedly to anyone who'll listen, her voice carrying that desperate edge of someone trying too hard to appear normal. Marcia is with her, dressed as a fairy godmother, which is rich considering her role in this whole mess. They're both working hard to project an image of wronged innocence. Chase is notably absent. His plea agreement prohibits him from being anywhere near me or my children, and Millbrook is small enough that this festival counts as too close. I check my phone. Everything is ready. At 7:30, the costume contest begins. Children parade across the stage while their parents cheer and take pictures. The local cable access crew broadcasts it live, just like every year. At 8:00, I make my move. I approach the AV booth where Tommy Martinez, a kid I knew in high school who now runs the local cable station, is managing the broadcast. "Tommy, hey, long time no see. Rowan, heard you were back in town. Sorry about, everything. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I have something I'd like to share with the community, something they need to hear." I hand him a flash drive. This is audio evidence from the child abuse case involving my ex-wife's daycare. The community has a right to know what really happened to their children. Tommy looks uncomfortable. "I don't know, man. That seems like something for the courts, not public broadcast." The courts have already ruled. This is about making sure parents understand what their children went through so they can help them heal. It's not entirely a lie. The courts have ruled. But this is really about making sure Tessa faces the full consequences of her choices. "I don't know." I lean closer. "Tommy, your sister Lisa had her daughter at Sunshine Daycare. Don't you think she deserves to know if her child was abused?" That does it. Tommy's face hardens as he thinks about his 3-year-old niece potentially being hurt by Chase. What exactly is on this recording? Chase Barlow verbally and physically abusing children while my ex-wife laughs in the background. Everything the parents need to understand what really happened. Tommy plugs in the flash drive and cues it up. "When do you want me to play it?" "Give me 5 minutes to get my kids away from the speakers. This isn't something they need to hear again." I collect Owen and Zoe and position us near the exit, far enough from the speakers that they won't hear clearly, but close enough for me to watch the show. At exactly 8:15, Tommy's voice comes over the PA system. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief break from our costume contest to share some important information about the recent situation involving Sunshine Daycare. The following audio was recorded by one of the children involved and has been provided as evidence in the criminal case." The festival noise dies down as people turn toward the speakers. I can see Tessa near the stage, her face going white as she realizes what's about to happen. Chase's voice booms across the park. "You little brats need to learn some respect. Your daddy's not here to protect you now, is he? Off playing G.I. Joe in the sandbox while real men handle things at home." The crowd goes completely silent. Parents look around in shock, recognizing the voice of the man who was watching their children. Then comes the sound of impact, Owen's cry of pain, and Tessa's unmistakable laughter in the background. "Shut up, Zoe, or you'll get the same. Chase is right. You kids need to learn some discipline." The reaction is immediate and explosive. Parents start shouting, demanding to know if their children were hurt. Others are calling for Tessa's head. The crowd surges toward the registration table where she's standing. but I'm not done. Tommy's voice returns to the speakers. We also have text message evidence showing that this abuse was planned and covered up by multiple adults who prioritized their own desires over child safety. The screen behind the stage lights up with the text conversations between Tessa and Marcia. Blown up large enough for everyone to read, their callous attitude toward other people's children is undeniable. Tessa tries to run, but the crowd blocks her path. Parents are surrounding her, demanding answers, some of them crying as they realize their children were hurt while they were at work, trusting her to keep them safe. "Please!" Tessa shouts over the crowd. "You don't understand! It wasn't like that!" "Then what was it like?" Mike Thompson pushes to the front of the crowd. "Because that sounded like you laughing while children were being hurt." "I wasn't laughing at that, You were what?" Jennifer Walsh joins him, tears streaming down her face. "My babies were there. My 5-year-old twins were in that room." Marcia tries to defend her friend. "You people don't know the whole story. Tessa was under tremendous pressure." "Pressure?" another parent shouts. "What pressure justifies letting someone abuse children?" The crowd is getting uglier, and I'm starting to worry about actual violence. Time for the final act. I walk through the crowd, which parts for me like I'm Moses at the Red Sea. Everyone knows I'm the wronged husband, the soldier who came home to find his family betrayed. "That's enough," I say, my voice carrying over the chaos. Everyone step back. The crowd quiets, waiting to hear what I have to say. I look directly at Tessa, who's cowering behind the registration table like it's a bunker. "Tessa, you asked me once what I wanted. I told you I wanted my children safe. I wanted you out of their lives until you could put them first, and I wanted Chase gone permanently. Rowan, please. Well, my children are safe. They're with me, and they'll stay with me. Chase is gone. Restraining order, probation, and a reputation that'll follow him wherever he goes. And you?" I gesture to the crowd around us, the angry faces, the complete social isolation she now faces. "You're done. Done in this town, done in this profession, done pretending to be a victim when you're really a perpetrator." "I made a mistake." "No, Tessa. You made a choice. Every single day for 2 months, you chose him over innocent children. You chose your own pleasure over their safety. You chose to laugh instead of protect." The crowd murmurs agreement. These are parents who understand that choice, who make the opposite choice every single day. But here's what I really want everyone to understand, I continue, my voice carrying across the entire festival. This wasn't just about my family. This was about all of your families. Every child who was in that daycare was at risk because one woman decided her boyfriend was more important than their safety. I turned back to Tessa one final time. "You wanted a strong man, Tessa? You got one, just not the one you expected." Thunder rumbles overhead, and the first drops of rain begin to fall. The crowd starts to disperse, but not before several parents make it clear to Tessa that she's not welcome in their community anymore. As people scatter for cover, I collect my children and head for the car. Owen looks up at me with serious eyes. "Dad, is Mom ever going to hurt us again?" "No, son, she's never going to hurt you again." "Good," Zoe says firmly. "She made bad choices." "Yes, she did, sweetheart. But that's not your fault, and it's not your responsibility to fix her choices." We drive home through the rain, my children chattering excitedly about the costume contest and the candy they collected before the drama started. They're resilient, these kids. Stronger than their mother ever gave them credit for. Behind us, Millbrook's Halloween festival dissolves into chaos and recrimination. Tessa's reputation lies in ruins. Her support network has abandoned her, and her future in this town, maybe in any town, is finished. I should feel guilty about orchestrating her complete social destruction. The old Rowan Pike would have felt guilty, but the old Rowan Pike never heard his children crying while their mother laughed. The new Rowan Pike sleeps just fine. 3 months later, Tessa moves to another state to live with a cousin. She never calls the children. never writes, never tries to maintain any relationship with them at all. Owen and Zoe adjust to her absence with remarkable ease, which tells me everything I need to know about what kind of mother she really was. Chase violates his probation within 6 months and ends up serving 18 months in county jail. His anger management classes apparently didn't take. Marcia loses several friendships over her role in covering up the abuse. She moves away too, eventually, unable to handle the social isolation. As for me, I take a job with a private security firm that lets me work locally and be home every night for dinner. Owen and Zoe thrive with stability, consistency, and a father who puts them first. Sometimes people ask me if I regret how hard I came down on Tessa, if I think I went too far in destroying her life. I tell them to ask my son about the bruises on his shoulder. I tell them to ask my daughter about the nightmares she had for months afterward. I tell them to ask any parent what they would do if someone hurt their child while laughing about it. Then they usually stop asking. The thing about revenge is that it's only satisfying if it's proportional. Tessa didn't just betray me, she betrayed every parent who trusted her with their most precious possessions. She didn't just enable abuse, she participated in it, encouraged it, laughed about it. She got exactly what she deserved, a complete accounting for her choices. And my children got what they deserved, a father who would move heaven and earth to protect them. In the end, that's all that matters.